Oh yeah, against like people like Galit was so winnable. Like I should have won in like a lot of spots, even with like my floor, like with just my floor alone. Because it's not necessarily impressive to win a tournament during your peak. It's way more impressive to win a tournament when you're not playing your best, but your decision making and your recognition is still there. Like you're not making irrational decisions. Cause like I look back at like a lot of positions when I was like making my lowlights, and I was like, why did I do that here and there? And that was something that Armada was so good at. He was so good at even though he wasn't playing his best, he knew to trust certain things. Because one big mistake is just because you're playing to your floor, which means you're not playing your best, doesn't mean you can't still trust certain things. You know, you still gotta trust your wave dash, and you still gotta trust your edge guards. That I started to lose some confidence doing that because like I missed it at the beginning of the set. I was like, I shouldn't go for this, and then that cost me because I was too afraid to go out there rather than like embracing that like that was basically an example of playing to not lose rather than playing to win. Like just because like you're playing to your floor, that doesn't mean that you're playing like a coward. Basically, I have to remind myself that even if I'm playing a B game and I'm playing to my floor, I'm still trying to win at the end of the day. Like, I have to do what's pragmatic, but I also can't limit myself at the same time, if that makes sense. Because missing that edge guard, that very, very crucial edge guard, game 5 moment versus Sunset, I think costed me the tournament. Because not only did I miss, like, such an easy edge guard, but because I was just too afraid to win at that point. Oh well. But, yeah, it's also, like, part of it is just, like, I think, like, being afraid to fail, I think was a big part of it. And it's hard because, like, in tournament, like, it's when everything starts to matter and people start to overthink, but, you have to have, like, the same attitude where it's, like, obviously you don't want to throw your games, but you also shouldn't necessarily be afraid to fail. If you're playing a 3 out of 10, you better be playing the nastiest 3 out of 10 anyone has ever seen. Yeah, that... I remember Mango telling me that, actually. Because, like, you can, at times, play in burst that, like, when you're playing at 3 out of 10, you could, like, sometimes push yourself to play at 8 out of 10 in moments. But more often than not, like, you gotta, like, match what you currently feel. And still try to win with it. Like, you still can't be a coward about it. Like, there's a difference between... knowing your limits and still trying to win than like being afraid that this might fail and not try it at all. Because that was the latter for me at Galit in the weekend, was that like I was just afraid that this just might not work at all rather than like taking the chance of a chance to success. Because like a lot by neutral, whenever it didn't work, it was like a lot of panic swings, a lot of like shielding after a whiffed aerial, which is like I have like really bad common defensive and lungy habits in some spots whenever I feel like I'm not playing well. Because like it's like, man, my old reliable isn't working out. So I need to be very adaptive in those spots too. So I'm gonna be dedicating a lot of training to that, where especially in like morning streams, typically I'm not playing my hottest, but I could still improve how to actually win in those spots, as well as being able to better recognize whenever I'm desperate and reminding myself that I need to actually try to play to win. How sometimes trying to play to win might invite some failure, but it's better to have a chance. Because like here's the thing, is that you're gonna definitely fail if you play to not lose. Like I think if you try to play to win, you have a higher percent chance to win than like if you play to not lose. Your percentage chance of winning goes down a lot. Uh, and like you learn absolutely nothing if you try to play to play to not lose. If you lose in that scenario, you learn basically nothing. You learn like the very basic stuff, like, oh man, I should actually make plays. Whereas if you lose trying to make plays, that actually gives you a lot of insights. Like, oh, this type of play didn't work. I should try something else next time. And like that's why getting better in that type of floor is so much more insightful. Where like you actually try to play to win, because not only does that give you a very likelihood chance of winning, you learn more, even when it doesn't work out. I have to remind myself that, like, increasing your floor doesn't just necessarily mean having a better B game or whatever. It means actually committing to it and still trying to win with it, rather than, like, being very desperate. What's up, Nanashi? I think what I'm kind of figuring out is that no matter how bad I'm playing, or like no matter how low the floor, what I can always rely on is still like outplaying. And I think what I've been missing for my floor is like when I'm playing well, I'm able to identify like the beats, the pacing of the set. And then when I'm playing bad, I kind of just default to my own pace rather than paying attention to what they're doing. I think that's like a big change, is that like it's no excuse. Regardless of how bad I'm playing, I could at least identify the rhythm of my opponent is playing. And like that's like no matter, like even if I'm playing 1 out of 10, 10 out of 10, there's no excuses for like not paying attention to what the opponent's actually doing, you know? But I think that's what I've been missing lately. Is like even if I'm playing bad, I can still like identify what they're doing. Just like knowing the pace of the set or the game is important. Can't just be in your own world. Like, I outplayed him. I just, like, missed execution, like, twice, but I did outplay him, like, 3 times there. He missed execution.